universal health coverage is a major topic for this week. We highlighted it as something we were going to watch going into the week. Of course, we have the high-level forum coming up during UNGA in September. But one key piece of this is looking at what's going on with health workers in the UHC equation. WHO is predicting a shortfall of 18 million health workers by 2030. Of course, that could make it very hard to meet a lot of goals. Vince, you've been looking a lot into this. What have those discussions looked like this week, and what's top of mind for people at WHA?
Yeah, thanks, Kate. Well, even prior to this week, staff at WHO were telling me, look out for health workers at WHA. We're going to have a lot of stuff, and it's true. It's been a big focus, lots of side events. One of the things that came out, there was a kind of a call to action looking for input from civil society and others into how to meet this gap that you mentioned in health workers. And one of the things that global health experts would know that always comes up is where that gap is going to be. Is it going to be in developing countries? Is it going to be in more wealthy countries? And I was at a technical briefing with member states and advocates during the week, and a member of the health ministry of Nepal spoke and said, we train 4,000 doctors a year and we keep 1,000 of them. And then speaking to WHO staff afterwards, they said, that's so 10 years ago to talk in those terms, basically.
Why is that so 10 years ago?
Because it's much more complicated in terms of how health workers are moving internally in certain regions. Nepal might lose health workers to Western countries, but would gain some from India, for instance. And so it's basically much more complicated, and that's where the importance of reporting comes in. And
also a broad view of global migration patterns as it pertains to doctors.
Exactly. And so we've got an interesting blog post in January on Devex about how the Global Compact on Migration ties into this debate about health workers. So that was interesting. And one of the things that is to look out for, I suppose, is that the code on how states report the flows of health workers came in 2010 as a result of these kind of concerns. And that's up for review in June about kind of how that's working. So that debate will be very, very alive this year, I suppose.
Do we have any early, insights or intel about what that debate's going to look like, or what the outcome of that is expected to be?
No, but I think, it's clear from the information that was out this week that so far we've got 80 countries reporting, which is obviously not all of them. So some countries take this very seriously and are considered kind of best in class at being transparent about the arrangements that they have, and others are seen as more behaving more surreptitiously. And obviously it's a difficult time to talk about migration, and I think everyone will be familiar. I live in Brussels, and the European Union's got a real problem where it's got a need for some workers, and it's got a populist political environment where migration's really on the nose. So it's not going anywhere for sure.